McLeodBooks.com, and I am joined by the one, the only, Kagan McLeod. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, thank you.
Kagan, tell me a little bit about Infinite Kung Fu. We at the shelf, we love the book, but for those who may not have picked it up yet, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's 500 pages. It collects some independent issues that I did in the 2000s, and it's the complete story, a martial arts epic in the vein of old school dubbed kung fu movies.
So the Shaw Brothers, the Choi Harks, all that wonderful stuff?
Yeah. And there's a lot of young people, new to the game that have not heard of that stuff or didn't rent that kind of stuff on VHS when that was around. So it's kind of cool to introduce that world to
the planet. So basically, what you're trying to tell us, you're trying to tell us is you're a gateway or you're a pusher of 1970s style martial art films.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a bad role, if I'd say myself. Kagan, tell me a little bit about your day job. I know you do a lot of the art for the National Post. Tell me about how that started about.
It started in college. I did an internship at the National Post, and I got a job after that. But over the last few years, I started doing more freelance for magazines and newspapers in the States and elsewhere, and that's keeping me pretty busy, and it's really fun. But even though there's thousands more people that see that kind of stuff, I never get the feedback that I do from comic books, and I think it's because there's a story involved, and the artwork is melded together, and I don't know. Fans connect with the.
That's right, folks. Come see some of me.
I gotta go. There's hip hop dancing in aisle 12, so I don't want to miss it.
No one wants to miss professional hip hop dancers at a comic book convention. So tell me a little bit about your process, how you start doing your own stories, what your creative process is like. Do you do a lot of thumbnails? Do you then go in from there?
Well, this one is a totally fictional book, and I kind of loosely planned a story, and I had lots of ideas from kung fu movies that I paths to kind of follow. So it seemed really easy for coming up with a story for that, even though it's quite intricate. And my next project is a historical fiction, and I assume that would be really easy because the history is there, but it's proving to be very hard. And that's just the story-wise, but in terms of art, little tiny thumbnails that are illegible to anyone but me, and even maybe a few months later, illegible to me. And then I'll just do pencil sketches from that. And I like to compose everything in Photoshop, pencil, and then after that, I'll print that out, trace it in real ink.
So you like mixing the digital and the traditional?
Yeah, it's faster. Before I was cutting out stuff and taping it up, and there's no point in doing that now, so yeah.
Right on. What advice would you have for young artists coming out, sort of trying to get into the industry? How important is the convention experience for them?
Well, one advice would be to be prepared to write off a lot of money. And just do comics. I think that's all you have to do is there's so many people that want to do it and don't finish. So lots of unfinished projects out there. So finish it. There's way more options for printing and distribution than there ever was now. So that's no excuse. But you're going to take a hit for a long time. So be prepared for that.
Right on. Kagan, we want to thank you for your time. The last question we ask is, what is on your dork shelf? What do you love to show off to people when they come into your house or your studio space? Like, what's the one thing you'd grab in a fire?
Oh, well, it's in poor taste, but I have a record, a vinyl album by Merrill Womack, who's a terrible country singer, but it's just the weirdest album cover because he's a very scarred man and like burned in a plane crash, a photo of him and all his family kind of creepily staring at him. It's just the most bizarre album that I've ever seen, and I got one.
Not only one, you're proud. It's a thing you'd grab in a fire, of all things.
No. Okay, let me change my answer. I wouldn't grab that in a fire. That's something that I show people after I've known them for a little while, so they don't think I'm too weird. But I haven't known you for very long, and I've told you about it. So
I'm that kind of comfortable guy. All right, so that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Lastly, where can we find you on Twitter? Do you have a website?
Yeah. Kagan McLeod on Twitter,
Yep.
with a capital M and a capital L, and KaganMcLeod.com.
Very good. Kagan, thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
Thanks.
Dorkshelf.com.